opinion. So if you're playing a short from, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it, because I think there's a strong chance that it starts to, you know, Bitcoin dominance starts to go down here. But if you're playing the game of like, this is going to go to 80K, like, sure, alts are going to pull back. But it's very short term in my opinion. Leonard, thanks for becoming a member, you savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
So I think we're back live on YouTube. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Is now the time to cry with extreme force, given value plays are down more than 50% lately? Loan taken. Don't cry. Just DCA and hold on tight. Do you think 80K is first before we climb to the next leg higher? I do, but I'm not. I have less confidence in that than I do that the spring is in. Because you could sit here and argue with me that this was actually the test right here on the 5 hour, and I might listen to you. So ultimately, I think we're going to come back to 80K, but I have less confidence and certainty and clarity in that than I do that this is the spring. We're so back. I don't know what happened. That was weird. ALCX predictions in this bull run. ALCX in this bull run. ALCX is still making new lows. This makes me think that there's inflation on this. Is there? I don't know. So we went long yet, even it's kind of in between levels. I'm longing. I have stop losses under where I think it would go. But I'm doing super low leverage. I don't think so. I think it was my internet is what happened. Okay, so no, there's not much inflation on this. So market cap 19 million, FTV is 20 million. Is there past inflation? Maybe a little. So I can see a retracement. This is a lot of accumulation in here, but it's still making new lows. Retracement would be 118. Says John Boy says, let's go. No way. I was downloading TikTok. Also, thoughts on Pond. XTZ, one will do. All right, let's check out XTC. And then Pond. Yeah, I think my internet glitched is what happened there. Sorry, YouTube. Same thing, XTZ. Like, is there inflation on this? Not really. Nope. Looks fine to me. I would say retracement. $5.70. XTZ9 is better than XTZ. I agree. I agree with that. Pond. Pond looks pretty good. We have a live stream tomorrow with Mario Nafal on X. Be there or be square. If you're square, you're not around. A little bit of inflation on this, not a crazy amount, not a past inflation on this. Where is this? Where are we measuring from? 2021. Oh yeah, so there was a lot of inflation on this past, but not a lot in the future. So I would measure it from here would be the next move, and I don't think it would be till the next cycle that you would get a bigger move. So 2.9 cents, and then parabolic would be 9 cents. So that's a 2x still to a 10x still. I mean, that's plenty. Listen, I don't get every single thing right. I lose shorts and longs all the time. It happens. So if you have high conviction to short uni, like, don't let me dissuade you from that. You might be right. But I don't think so. But I would love for you to be right. Do your strategy. Don't trade based off of me. I like the price. Great with Chris. Hey Ski, hope you have a great Easter. Thanks for all the info as always. Thanks. Happy Good Friday tomorrow. Happy Resurrection Sunday to all. Rio price prediction. We already went over Rio, I think. I thought longing right now is risky since stochastic RSI is overbought on the daily. Okay, let me hold on to that. I'm gonna circle back. I'm gonna circle back to that in 2 minutes. Let me look up Rio, and I'm gonna circle back to that. Yeah, I don't mind Rio here. I think Rio, actually, we might add this one. It has not broken the downtrend yet. And there's not a lot of inflation on this. Ooh, but there was in the past. Dang, that's crazy. Okay, so when is this? 2020, yes. So this went parabolic. Absolutely parabolic. This peak right here was parabolic. That's a lot of inflation. Past tense. So not that much inflation future. But this right here should have went parabolic. So we'll pull it off of this. 170. I mean, that's an 8x, honestly. I would de-risk there for sure. Price discovery is $5. But this, make no mistake about it, on market cap was parabolic. So that's something to keep in mind. But it's past. It's done. Right? Diesel. Thanks for becoming a member, bro. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Jason, thanks for becoming a member. You savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
That is 100% correct. He says, you said bottom was in, but it doesn't mean Bitcoin will not touch 78. Correct. That is correct. Because 78 is higher than 74.4. Right? And I actually think there's a strong probability that we will come back to at least 80K. We'll see. I'm not like placing my bets to that. I'm not betting the farm on that. But textbook would say if it's a textbook Wyckoff and you get a textbook test in Wyckoff, that would mean you would come back to 80K or even 78K. Right? But 78K again, and people, I promise you, they're going to comment. So if this happens, listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Just listen to me live. So we're at 85K right now, 84.5, whatever, 80, whatever. Just call it 85K. If we, or when we pull back to 80K or 78K, there will be people in my comments saying, this aged like milk. I don't know if people don't know that 78,000 is higher than 74.4. But just because if we go to 78, that does not mean that the bottom 9 days ago when I said it was in, it's still in. So yeah, the people are going to say that silliness. All right, let's go to Uniswap. Cuz so his so he's making a trade based off of sarcastic RSI. And if that's your strategy, I would say stick to that strategy, but I don't do that. I barely will make a trade based off of the sarcastic RSI. So he said it's oversold on the daily. Let's pull that up. A little, but this could hang out here. This isn't like crazy oversold too. You know what I mean? There are many instances when we go to these points. If we were at the 90s, I would agree. But I don't trade based off of that though. But sure. If that's how you've been trading, I would say stick to your strategy. I don't trade based off of this though. I'm trying to see deviations that would here's an example right here. Not that long ago. The peak was in and we went lower as the price went higher. But other than that, it's been pretty good, pretty solid, especially on the hundreds, but not so much on these 80 points. Like the 80 points, I don't think tell you as much data as when you're at the 100. But I don't trade based off of that. It's just a piece of information for me. ZRO. Thoughts on SEI? Let's check that out. What are my thoughts on SEI? Again, like this is going to be dependent upon the rest of the market. You're getting a bullish divergence right now, though. I don't love that it took out these lows over here. It already retraced. I think that Bitcoin has bottomed, and I think there's a strong probability that the market cap is, or alts are just a beat behind Bitcoin. Let me look up SEI. It has not technically broke the downtrend yet. There's a decent bit of inflation on this. This was almost a double top. So I would say a retracement would be in order. Which would be 49 cents. Price discovery is $1.10. I only do uni. Bro, if that's your strategy, like, don't let me dissuade you. I get trades wrong all the time. But I don't trade based off of that. So, you know, any strategy realistically will work. It's just being consistent with it and not having shiny object syndrome with it. Will stocks crash hard eventually? Yes, in my opinion, especially if you measure it in gold. So if you feel like you have a winning strategy with that, then continue to mess around with it. Just have your stop losses. De-risk, risk management. I don't trade based off of that, but that doesn't mean that you can't make money off of it. 0.1% inflation per day on SEI and ends in August. Okay, that's something. You still expect Theta to hit 40? Yes. Theta is one of my top plays right now, especially blue chips, because of Ethereum. So I think that Theta has been crushed lately. No one's arguing that. Because Ethereum has been crushed lately. And I've made the case Ethereum is so oversold at this point, it means one of two things, especially the dominance too, being at a 5-year low. It means one of two things. Either Ethereum is actually properly dead, or Ethereum is going to bounce. My bet is Ethereum is going to bounce, and if that happens, and if and when that happens, the Ethereum coins that are in the ecosystem like Theta, Flux, Quant are going to feel that heat. I'm here now. Penlink TA. You were somebody who was mad at me back in November when I was saying that I would sell Penlink. I think. It might not have been you. Somebody was definitely mad at me. This is a bottoming structure now. I think that Penlink has bottomed. This is textbook Wyckoff accumulation. So it's not that I don't like Penlink. What I didn't like was this right here. When I was being asked about it, this is the chart that I saw. And I was like, this is not sustainable. Take profits, take profits, take profits. But what do we get? We got textbook distribution. You got your textbook marked down. You got a parallel channel. It broke out of that. I think that this is a bottoming structure. You got maximum oversold here. You might get a spring that would be a little bit lower. That's possible. But ultimately, when you look back a year or 6 months from now, I think that if you put a range, this will be the bottoming range. And I don't mind this chart now. And I think minimum it's going to retrace to 250. And the next price discovery would be 669. Somebody was definitely mad. It might not have been you. You might be paying for the sins of somebody else. Somebody definitely was pissed at me and saying that I was shilling Solnick and saying that Solnick was awesome and I didn't like this. It might not have been you. Somebody, but it was definitely Penlink. And somebody definitely got their paintings in a bunch about that. But it's not that I dislike or like Penlink. I just did not like this chart. When I was being asked about Penlink, this is what I saw. And I was like, if you were my brother, I would say take profit. I was saying that this is not sustainable. It's not that I dislike Penlink. I actually think that this is a good bottoming structure now, and it's going to perform well from here. I just look for value. So if you're having a meeting tomorrow with Mario, thought tonight's a good night to buy, right? Every night's a good night to buy because I'll be doing this for the next 10 years. But yes.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Cowboy hat emoji. Thanks for becoming a member, you savage. And I think we got... No. Says, oh, we got heated, LMO. Somebody did. Tyler, it might not have been you, but there was somebody else that was mad at me that I was saying that Solnick was good and I didn't like Penlink here. But that was the only reason why. It's like, I'm just looking for value. But no, it's not that I didn't dislike Penlink. I did not like the value of Penlink because I don't chase green candles like that. But this is textbook distribution, textbook markdown, textbook accumulation. I think that this is a bottoming structure and it's a good value now. I might even add it to my top values. I don't know enough about it. Do you buy drug stocks? No, I do not. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw! Thank you for the hot dog. You savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Arrow is highly inflationary. Not a huge fan. I do think, again, Arrow, Penlink, there was a whole list of coins that I was bearish on in November. Arrow was one of them. It was Sui, Arrow, Penlink, Land Wolf, XCN maybe. I don't remember what the other ones are, but there was a whole list of coins that were just ripping. And I was like, take profit, take profit. If you were my brother, I would say take profit. Arrow perhaps is working on a bottoming structure, although the one thing it hasn't broken out of this parallel channel yet. That is for certain, but it might be working on a bullish divergence here. This got red hot, or excuse me, 13 on the daily RSI. It has not quite broken out of this yet. You could almost say that this is broken out of it, though. So we'll see. But there is a lot of inflation on this coin. So I would anticipate just a retracement is where I would be de-risking. 148. There's a decent bit of inflation on Arrow for sure. It's not a play for me personally, but, you know, I don't think it's a terrible value here. It's only double, so it's not crazy, but that is double. So 313 market cap, $313 million market cap, and $616 million FTV. So that basically means it's double the inflation. Price equals supply plus demand. So that means if it were going to 10x, I would anticipate a 5x. If it were going to 5x, a 2.5x. That's basically what that means. Can I ask you, do you think we can start to see a turn in the market to the upside? I think so. I think we have bottomed. Now, just because I think that we bottomed doesn't mean sunshine and rainbows and go pick out your Lamborghini tomorrow. I don't think that. And realistically, if we really are following this fractal like I think that we are, then that would mean that we're going to chop up. And this would be your test, by the way. Basically in Wyckoff, this move right here was your test after you got your spring. This was Silicon Valley Bank going to zero would be the test in Wyckoff. But you were just marching higher from 16K, chopping higher. That's kind of what I anticipate us to do. I don't think it's go pick out your Lamborghini tomorrow. However, a lot of the altcoins are way oversold at this point. So, you know, we might have some good moves. I do think that the total 3 does a 50% move by the end of May. Some things are going to run pretty hard from that. But I don't think we're going to get into euphoria until November. Like Logic was all over the place. Can you chart silver? Thanks. Okay, so I just sold 30% of my gold. I like the silver chart a lot. I think that silver has more room to the upside compared to gold. Gold is parabolic right now. Silver, textbook accumulation. Like textbook Wyckoff accumulation. I'm telling you, this stuff shows up everywhere on every chart, on every time frame, on every asset. This is textbook markdown, selling climax, automatic reaction, secondary test in phase B. We got it. The spring, even. The spring. Okay? So this is accumulation and perhaps about to start the markup phase. My first target for silver is $38. I do think that we're going to get eventually north of $78, but this is multi-years. Silver doesn't move like crypto. Like the chart I'm looking at is from 2007 till present. So this could take, 2029 to play out. But that is my macro target on silver. I do think that there's more upside on silver versus gold right now. I just sold 30% of my gold. I doubled my money on gold essentially. I did my average price was $1,600, $1,600, and I sold it at $3,200. Silver, I think we have basically the same thing, that we're going to double from here. That's basically what I think. I'm a big believer in silver. I'm a silver stacker. I love buying silver. It's one of my favorite things to buy. So there you go. I buy physical silver. I do not buy the stock or the ticker or whatever. What's a good entry point to be buying silver at? If you can get it under $30, that's a great value. But realistically, I just buy it every week. It's I have a macro target of $78, and that's that. I use silver not as a wealth creation, but as a wealth preservation. Do you think the liquidity from M2 is enough to push Bitcoin to an all-time highs? Yes. Right? What are we measuring Bitcoin in? We're measuring it in this thing that is just up and to the right. If this were a crypto, I would say take profits on this. This looks like Penlink's chart when I was telling my man Tyler, for the love of God, to take profit. But this is what we measure Bitcoin in. The thing that they just keep... And we think it's going to crash. Measured in this thing, okay. We think that it's going to crash measured in this thing. Okay. Are they going to be burning dollars anytime soon to get rid of some of the supply? Let me know. Yes, absolutely. It's enough. Where can I buy silver? I think your local... P.S. I did take profits. That's great, Tyler. I'm pumped that you did that. Local coin shops sell silver. Yeah, that's right. Also, a TikToker who I bought silver from before in the past is, I don't know if you guys ever seen Pawn Man. That guy, Pawn Man. He's like, Pawn Man talking gold. That guy. I bought silver from him. I think he has pretty good prices if you want to buy it online. But your local coin shop. What's a good 10x between now and May? Solnick. I don't know if anything's going to 10x between. That's a lot. Like some, certainly things will, but I think, you know. At what price will a Bitcoin will you start DCing out of crypto? 138, 207. 138, 207. Definitely those prices. Yep. Bitcoin's going to zero, measured in the thing that is going to infinity. Makes sense. This looks like the Penlink chart. That's what it looks like. By the way, the balance sheet too, this is starting to round a little bit. The last time we pulled back was in 2019 and the bottom was already in. So if we break on this, that is triple, quadruple, quintuple confirmation. But I absolutely think that gold is parabolic right now. I have sold 30% of my gold. So there you go. I'll be looking to see what's what, but yeah, I'm gonna be more alert at those prices. I'm not married to anything. I'm in a good spot to play for the long game, and ultimately, like this is the bet that I'm placing. I'm measuring things in the dollar, which I do not believe in. Which is the DXY is falling off a cliff right now. So I buy things that are anti-dollar, like silver, like Bitcoin, like real estate, like land. VeChain taking off soon? I think so. I have a long on VeChain right now. I'm up 50% in that long. I've already taken profit and moved my stop losses. So I'm just swinging for the fences at this point. I've already guaranteed profit with that trade, so I'm just swinging for the fences. So that's what I like to do. I like to be conservative in the beginning of my trades, take profit, move stop losses up, and then swing for the fences. I'm holding from 5 cents. Yeah. I mean, you're swinging from the fences. We have only 2 bull runs, which isn't enough data for reliable. Listen, this is what I have enough data on. I have enough data on Wyckoff. Wyckoff, I have 100 years of data to know that this is what a bottom looks like. So are there going to be variables that are going to be different? Certainly. Certainly there will be. But I have 100 years of data, 200 years of data to know that this is a bottoming structure. That's enough data for me. Richard D. Wyckoff did not create Wyckoff method for Bitcoin. What price of ADA should we begin DCing out? $2, in my opinion. 2468 is those are my targets. Trust in Wyckoff ski. Okay, so you're saying a long time frame data. I was saying short time on of where it could settle. On H bar. Are you talking about H bar? I like H bar long term because most of the inflation is done. There was a lot of inflation, and when we look at the market cap, this did go this went into price discovery. Excuse me. So, again, this was one where I was like, take profits, because this is that price discovery, market cap. When we look at the price, it did not go into price discovery, but that's because of inflation. But most of the inflation is done. So we'll see. This hasn't quite broken the downtrend yet. But it's on top of prior ranges, which is where you would typically see it go. So I anticipate some accumulation in here. Retracement is 72%. Parabolic would be a 4x from here. Pin link. I think that pin link has bottomed. It's gonna get its sign of strength in the short term, which would be to the 236. That's $1.40. Now you might get, and I think you probably already have. So this to me is definitely your selling climax. You could get a spring that would go lower, right? So 48 cents definitely is on the table. These would be very short term. So short term, 48 cents. I think if you were to get a spring, and then upside would be $1.44 for the sign of strength. Even if there's a chance we break down from this to 55K, bottom of the 2024 range, found support, would you still think now's a good time to DCA? I think it's super low plausibility that we go to those prices. Is it possible? Yes. Anything is possible. But this is a bottoming structure. I would be shocked if you have this bottoming structure on top of this over here, and then you go lower. But yes, to answer your question, so what would that mean? All right, let's play it out. Let's live in crazy land. I didn't mean to grab that. Let's live in crazy land. Let's go down to 55. What does that mean? That means right now we're at the 0.5 Fibonacci, which I still think is good value. And that would mean in the micro, we're going to 250. So is buying it at 80K good if we're going to 250? I think so. But I don't see that happening. This is a bottoming structure. Now, altcoins, you can make a case. Like, I think Bitcoin is a beat ahead of the altcoins. You could make a case that it makes one more push to the low, especially like XRP. I'm definitely open to that happening for XRP. But Bitcoin, I do not. I have a strong level of conviction that the bottom is in. 9 times I've said that the bottom was in. 8 times I was correct on the day. What's good, Ski? Hey, Ski, do you expect bullish summer? It's not theoretically possible. Yeah, it's theoretically possible, sure. How do you feel about Ondo? I've put Ondo in the same class as Arrow, Sui. Those are all highly inflationary coins. I do think relatively it's bottom, but I don't have a lot of faith or conviction in it. KV, thanks for becoming a member. Yes, Savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
What's up, Charlena? Swift look like a buy right now. Algorand, I'd put in the same class as H-Bar. I like it long term. I think most of the inflation is behind it. Crystal Ballski. Is it? I mean, it more from perspective that argument would be now is sensible time to DCA and alts. Yeah, I think so. How exactly are we supposed to DCA out? Certain percentage of holdings every week or something like that? Please explain, brother. I think it's best to have your targets based on individual coins. Like I'm going to, like for instance, like XRP. I'll tell you what I did with XRP in my plan with XRP. So I accumulated XRP for multiple years. My average price on XRP was 20 cents. My average price the last cycle was 30 something cents. My plan when we were boring and choppy, that's the important thing, is to set a plan when things are boring, not when things are ripping, not when things are crashing, when things are boring. That's when you want to set your plan. My plan at 30 cents was 10% at $1.11, 10% at $2.22, 10% at $3.33. I actually did a little bit more just because I needed more money for the farm. So I am like 40+% of my XRP is out. And the rest is going to be $5, $8, and $12. And I will hold 20% forever. So I think it's important to set up your exit strategy like that individually based on individual coins. And or have a caveat like if Bitcoin starts doing this, I'm going to take action. Can you look at Cardano? Mate, I like Cardano a lot here. I've looked at it 100 times. I can look at it, it's fine, but Cardano to me is it's a good play right now. Extreme value. My exit strategy is 2, 4, 6, and 8. I'm not saying I don't see anything between now and May doing 10x. I don't think we're in euphoria is what I've been saying, though. I think we're going to have a 50% move in the total 3 between now and the end of May. That's not a 10x, though. Some things will do a 10x, but I'm not predicting anything's going to do a 10x between now and then. I think that the euphoria is in November. That's what I've been saying since 2022. How long do you think Theta goes? What do you mean? I don't give a shit about patterns, bro. Patterns trading is like the lowest level of trading. Nobody on BlackRock is not doing patterns trading. Wells Fargo is not patterns trading. Name me one patterns trader that has $1 billion net worth. I don't care about patterns. You were telling me distribution was here, but now that we have accumulation, now we're going to patterns. I don't care about patterns. Not even for a second. Render. I don't mind render here. All right. Do you have a strategy like that for Bitcoin? If so, please share your XRP emotions. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, same thing. 118, 138, 207. That's been the thing for Bitcoin forever. Now, I already took some on Bitcoin when we were at 48K. Was the last real time that I took profit. I took a decent chunk of Bitcoin profits at 48K because I was accumulating at 20K was my average price. I think I took a little bit in the, I don't remember, like 95K range. It was more of some rotations into Solnic. But generally 118, 138, 207 is the rest of my Bitcoin. Okay, bro, put a short in and leave it in until 30K then. You've been saying that for 6 months. Like, how long are we going to wait? How long is it going to take? How long is it going to take? Yes. Bitcoin's going to 30K. When was the last time Bitcoin was at 30K? What was the M2? What was China's dollars at? Yes, Bitcoin's going to 30K, measured in the thing that's infinite. Makes sense. Exit for Flux and Matic. Rose pumped a bit today. If you look at ADA, April last bull run, it was $1 plus, peaked in September. It needs more parabolic than last bull run. Yeah, I think so. XRP is going to 10,000 because of the Swift. That's right. What about Solonic? Should we use price targets to set DCA out as well? Yeah, I'm not advocating that people don't take profit. People have, and they will continue to. Lots of people have done that. My targets for $1, $5.89. Buy in May and go away. We'll see. That's the narrative. I do think there's going to be a significant crash in August. But it's going to be after a pretty big move to the upside. Minimum to 95K. Most likely to 118K. You think Rose can do 50 cents by the end of the bull run? Yes. Targets on Chainlink, 38, 78, 178. High, medium, low. Flux and Matic are still the same. Why August? That's typically when you get your big crashes. Thanks for subscribing, Carlos. Yes, Savage. All right, guys. I got baseball to get to. tomorrow I should be live with Alex. He might reschedule that. We'll see. But I will be live with Mario at 3:30 Central Time. Mario Nafal, that's going to be on Twitter. And I will be live on Saturday. I don't know what time. I don't remember what time. I'm about to pull it up. And then I will be off on Resurrection Sunday. What is my... Here we go. Let me get the schedule for you. All right, so tomorrow I should be live with Alex 9 a.m. to 10:30 Central Time. I will be live with Mario Nafal on Twitter 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Saturday, that's going to be on X. Saturday 4 to 5:30 p.m. And then Sunday I will be off. That is going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity, God first. God bless.
Damn, hustling, 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 hustling,
Hit your
hustling,
boy,
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, hustling.